China's plug-in hybrid SUV market has become one of the most competitive spaces in the global automotive industry, and Geely is clearly not content to watch that battle from the sidelines. The company has just introduced the Galaxy M7, the first mid-size plug-in hybrid to join its Galaxy M product lineup, and the specifications being quoted suggest this is a vehicle that has been engineered with a specific set of buyer concerns firmly in mind. Sales are expected to begin in April, and if the numbers hold up under real-world scrutiny, the M7 could make a strong case for itself in a segment that already has some well-established players. The powertrain at the heart of the Galaxy M7 pairs a 1.5-liter naturally aspirated petrol engine producing 82 kilowatts with an electric motor, drawing energy from a 29.8 kilowatt-hour lithium iron phosphate battery pack. The pure electric range claimed under China's CLTC test cycle is 225 kilometers, which is a figure worth pausing on because it is meaningfully higher than what most plug-in hybrids in this segment offer. For context, many competing models in the mid-size family SUV category deliver somewhere between 100 and 150 kilometers of electric-only range, and some fall short of that. Geely is pitching 225 kilometers as enough to cover several days of typical urban commuting without touching the petrol engine at all, which for a lot of city-based families would mean the combustion side of the powertrain sits largely dormant throughout the working week. When the battery does eventually run down and the petrol engine takes over, the combined driving range with a full fuel tank is quoted at 1,730 kilometers. That is a substantial number, and it addresses something that remains a genuine concern for buyers considering electrified vehicles in China, particularly those who make regular intercity trips where charging infrastructure can be less predictable than in major urban centers. The plug-in hybrid format sidesteps the range anxiety problem entirely by simply having a petrol backup available, and a 1,730-kilometer total range means drivers can cover considerable distances before needing either a charger or a fuel stop. The efficiency figures attached to the powertrain are among the more impressive claims in the M7's technical dossier. The dedicated hybrid engine achieves a reported thermal efficiency of 47.26%, which places it at the upper end of what is currently being achieved in production plug-in hybrid engines. Thermal efficiency in combustion engines is essentially a measure of how much of the fuel's energy actually gets converted into useful work, rather than being lost as heat. And the difference between a good engine and a great one in this regard can have a meaningful impact on real-world fuel consumption. Geely pairs this engine with its Star Intelligence 2.0 energy management system, a cloud-connected platform that continuously optimizes how the electric and combustion power sources work together. The company claims this system reduces fuel consumption by around 15% and cuts thermal losses by approximately 30% compared with less sophisticated energy management approaches. Battery durability and thermal management have also received focused engineering attention. The M7 uses Geely's Aegis Golden Brick battery system, which is designed around improved safety and longevity alongside the raw capacity figure. A high-efficiency thermal management architecture keeps the battery operating within its ideal temperature range during both charging and discharging, which matters considerably for long-term battery health in a vehicle that owners will be charging regularly for years. Fast charging capability is built in as well, allowing the 29.8 kilowatt-hour pack to replenish more quickly than older plug-in hybrid systems, though specific charging speed figures have not been the focus of Geely's initial communications about the car. Visually, the Galaxy M7 takes clear design cues from its larger sibling, the Galaxy M9, most notably the prominent LED light bar that stretches across the front fascia and creates an immediately recognizable lighting signature. The body comes in a dual-tone paint scheme that plays up the SUV's proportions and adds visual interest without overcomplicating the design. Around the back, a visual sensing tailgate uses integrated sensors to enable automated opening functions, which is one of those features that sounds minor until you are standing in a car park with your hands full and genuinely appreciating it.
The dimensions place the M7 firmly in mid-size SUV territory. At 4,770 millimeters long, 1,905 millimeters wide, and 1,685 millimeters tall, it has the presence expected of a family-oriented vehicle in this category. The 2785mm wheelbase is the measurement that matters most for interior comfort, and it is generous enough to provide genuinely useful rear passenger space rather than the compromised legroom that sometimes results when a manufacturer stretches a compact platform to mid-size dimensions. Inside, the cabin leads with digital integration in a way that reflects how thoroughly Chinese consumers have come to expect sophisticated technology as a baseline rather than a premium feature. The dashboard pairs a floating central touchscreen with a fully digital instrument cluster, and the whole system runs on Geely's Fly Me Auto platform, which brings together navigation, connectivity, and multimedia functions into a single coherent interface. The ambient lighting system offers 256 colors under AI control, allowing the cabin atmosphere to shift according to mood or driving conditions, which has moved from being a novelty feature to something buyers in this segment actively look for. The audio setup uses 23 speakers under the Fly Me sound banner, which is a speaker count that signals serious intent on the entertainment front. Wireless charging for smartphones runs at 50 watts, fast enough to be genuinely useful rather than just a checkbox on the features list. Rear seat flexibility comes through a 4-to-6 split folding arrangement that allows the boot to expand when the situation calls for it. The expected pricing range of between 100,000 and 150,000 yuan places the Galaxy M7 in a part of the market where competition is fierce and buyers are sophisticated. The BYD Song Pro DM-i and BYD Song Plus DM-i are the most obvious rivals, and both have established strong sales records by delivering solid electric range and competitive efficiency at accessible prices. Geely's strategy with the M7 appears to be differentiation through a longer electric range than either BYD model currently offers in this segment, combined with an interior technology package and audio experience that targets buyers for whom the cabin environment is a meaningful part of the purchase decision. The fuel consumption figure quoted for driving with a depleted battery sits at approximately 3.35 liters per 100 kilometers, which would rank the M7 among the more economical options in the mid-size plug-in hybrid SUV category, if independently verified. That last qualification matters because the gap between CLTC test cycle figures and what owners actually experience in daily driving can be significant, depending on how and where the car is used. Temperature affects battery performance. Driving style affects both electric range and combustion efficiency. Charging frequency shapes how much of any given journey runs on electricity versus petrol. The specifications Geely is quoting are genuinely promising, but the real test will come when independent reviewers and early owners start reporting back from actual roads rather than laboratory cycles. What the Galaxy M7 ultimately represents is a thoughtful attempt to answer the question that sits at the center of every plug-in hybrid purchase decision, which is whether the electric range is long enough to make a meaningful difference to running costs and daily driving experience, while the combustion backup is reliable enough to remove any anxiety about longer trips. With 225 kilometers of claimed electric range and 1,730 kilometers of combined range, Geely is arguing that the answer to both halves of that question is yes. April will begin to reveal whether the market agrees.